Oh, don't mind that mess behind me. It's been one of those cleaning days at the house. Remember, we were gone for a couple days out of here, so some things got backlogged. This is just I wanted to talk real quick about something, and then I realized that me talking about that may lead to some controversy. So let me address that first. Now, as far as talk about all-wheel drive shit, the only time I've ever really mentioned all-wheel drive stuff on here was when I was giving a lot of praise to Hub City Performance. That's because their product seemed to streamline. They seem to streamline what would be called, that section of the industry. And they had a lot of their cars, a lot of cars with their product breaking records or setting records or in the top 10 in the competition in that area of, the all-wheel drive category. So anyway, I've never really taken time to throw any kind of positive light towards S1 or whatnot. But it's not, not one of those things where like I'm not aware of them and don't care about them or anything. It's just that, I just didn't really feel the need to. To be 100% honest, guys, I haven't really gone and checked the prices of S1 versus Hub City Performance. And I know I'm using these two, and I'm sure that there's other guys out there that are doing the same shit as well. But these are just the two that stand out in the forefront. One, because HCP seemed to be like the first one to like mainstream or, set a standard that they were mass producing versus everybody else that were throwing together all-wheel drive kits. And then S1 seemed to be also doing the same thing. And then, of course, the reason why I felt the need to talk about this is because of the controversy with S1. And the reason why I feel the need to talk about this and the controversy is because of the other guy I'm going to talk about is a guy that has my engine that's going to be using their parts to power his car. And he made me aware of the fact that his car made a little feature on their Instagram and whatnot. And so I decided to, talk about this, the controversy of S1, because of me talking about Roger and his car and mentioning the fact that it's going to be an S1Built all-wheel drive setup. So it's kind of like the S2K groups I was in. It's also the same with the all-wheel drive group, the big all-wheel drive group. I'm in it. I don't really talk very much because I don't have a place to be speaking in the all-wheel drive group. And because of the fact that I think the main reason why I jumped in there is because of Roger. Roger is the reason why I felt inspired to buy my all-wheel drive transmission. Now, I didn't buy a B series, I bought a K because I really don't want much to do with the B series going forward after the Integra. But he inspired me to go out and buy my K series all-wheel drive transmission, and that was like the first really high dollar item that I bought, in a long, long time. So I am definitely committed to do my all-wheel drive setup. If this year plays out the way I hope it does, then I'll be doing that next year. That'll be next year's project. So, and as far as what I'm going to be doing to do my all-wheel drive setup, it's most likely going to be S1 for a couple of reasons. Why? Even though I told you I haven't really, gone over prices, I think I did one time, like kind of eyeball prices back and forth, and it's a little bit cheaper on the S1 side than it is on HCP. And now people say, yeah, Chris, could you get what you pay for and whatnot? But to talk about my experience in the all-wheel drive groups, it seems like there was one really big thing that happened that got them a lot of hate. And listening from the S1Built side, they have a decent story following behind what happened. Now, as far as the other general hate that I hear about S1, it seems to be that it's not firsthand knowledge. It seems to be that most of the hate getting thrown around on S1 is secondhand knowledge. One guy, it kind of like something that happened in the news recently, where one dude was the mystery source for one news network, and they quoted him as the source, and then another news network said, yes, we also can verify that news network's report because like multiple news networks said they can verify the original story. But what they didn't tell you is that behind the scenes, every single outlet was using the same guy. So you have 3 different networks talking about the same story, all saying that they can verify each other's story when they're all using the same guy as their source. So when one dude starts talking shit because of a bad experience or not happy, satisfied with his experience or whatever the reason, and then one guy hears it, then another guy tells somebody this, and another guy, then you have like 100 people talking a whole bunch of bad shit, that don't really have firsthand knowledge of the product. All they do is repeat what they heard from the original guy. So that's kind of unfair. And also because the fact that I'm dealing with the situation myself where I have to try and convince people, that I can competently do what I'm trying to do here. It just seems like an unfair thing. And one of the things that I will say that surprised me, and I don't know the history and the story necessarily behind this, but it does seem like somebody with the name HCP, or somebody with HCP in their name, is very openly attacking that company, and that, and again, I don't know the story behind that, but that always seems a little bit weird to me. When one company decides to openly attack another, it seems strange. And it's because the more I come up in, trying to be professional myself, and even on the YouTube side, not even talk about like the engine building side of the car side, but just from the YouTube side, I see that beefs are not a good thing. They cause a lot of drama, and maybe it gets a lot of attention on you, but that's not kind of the attention that I want. I think that if you there's a couple things. One, if you're really a superior, product designer or whatnot, and you really are that good, you don't really need to talk shit about the competitors, because people are going to choose to come to you more often than not. That's number one, right? And number two is, there's enough people in the marketplace to not be a bad thing to have options. Monopolies are bad. I've said that a million times on the channel. Monopolies are bad. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that one person can dictate the prices and how things get put out on all these things. It's not a bad thing, guys, to have competitors. And it's just, so that's why I'm saying, it's like, professionally, it seems a little weird for me for you to be taking the time out of your day to go and openly, publicly attack this other person. Now, by all means, if that other person started it and you're fucking responding to it, then all well and good for that. Because I commonly, it's not an uncommon thing for me to talk shit about people who talk shit about me. If you're coming at me, I'm not going to take it the best way. All right. I'm still working on getting over my, reactions to some people, but it's still a work in progress. Sometimes I'm able to ignore the shit. More often than not, I'm able to ignore it. Sometimes I don't. All right. So, another thing is, for me, is like, I don't really talk about it too much. Normally it's not something that I care about too much, but the business is veteran owned. Like, these guys or the guy who owns the shit is vet. So that's cool, is to be able to support, somebody who's done the same shit that I have. So that's one thing. And another thing is, they're local. They're a Florida-based company. And same thing, like I was happy about the Tato being engine carts when I found out about him, is that he's local. So that means, like, and he was in Orlando, so it was someplace that I could reasonably go to visit. So when I go to do my all-wheel drive setup, I'm going to use S1Built, because of multiple reasons. One, it's going to be a little bit better for the budget, and two, veteran-owned business, and three, and which is also, these are all equally big. It's not just one is bigger than the other, but three being that they're locally based. So I think I even saw somewhere on their comments or their page or their website or whatnot where they're saying if you can pick up and save on shipping, which is kind of an obvious thing. I went to Orlando to pick up my all-wheel drive transmission, even though I found the seller on eBay, because it was going to save me like $100 on shipping. And now S1Built, I'll go save a little bit of money on shipping. Plus, it's cool for me to be able to visit the place. Maybe I can take some pictures and whatnot when the time comes. If not, it's not a big deal. But it's cool. I like to be able to see the people that I'm going to be dealing with. And you never know when meeting somebody is going to turn into something later. Just for example, Lee, who I'm going to be doing all this kind of shit with now in the immediate future. Like when I originally met him, I think it might have been like 2014, and he retuned my Del Sol after I came back from El Paso. And I would have never imagined that one day down the line we would somewhat be doing work together, or our relationship would grow into what it is now. You never know how shit like that develops. So yeah, it's just like a little bit of defense for them, and because I'm going to be talking about it with the other guy, and that's just a throw out for me. I'm going to be using S1Built products and downline, and I guess if there's a problem, we'll see if there is down there when we get to it. But I feel pretty confident that there won't be. A company isn't around like they are, and they don't continue to grow like they have if they're doing bad shit. Because if they were legit putting out bad product on a regular, for them to be as bad as people are claiming they would be, then that means all their shit would have to be more garbage than success. And for that many people that have firsthand knowledge of bad things happening, I think that they wouldn't continue to grow. I think that maybe you would have like a year or so to play with, and then like after a while it would just cap off because people would just know to stay away. So yeah, there's that. I guess that's it. I really just wanted to throw that out there. And just in case you're curious, no, I didn't throw this fucking my PT shirt on for this video or whatnot. I'm actually working, which is why I'm a little on the dark side. I actually had to take like a quick half shower so I could sit down to eat. But I was out pressure washing some shit. I'm breaking down engine blocks, getting some stuff ready to ship tomorrow, and I might be putting together a B20 tonight. My schedule got jacked around a little bit. I have a B18 that was going under the knife that was going to get assembled first, and then hopefully if I had time, the B20. B18 has a little bit of scratches in the cylinder. The guy wants to go ahead and just bore over, so that's going to get... I have to take off some accessories on that block, which I'm going to do right now, or do after I make the other video, and then that's getting wrapped up to go send out the CSS for the machine work. All right, guys, so thanks for watching, and peace.